Can I into UN? Asks Taiwan. No, responds the UN. Can I into countries? Says Taiwan. No, everyone screams back at them. Sorry, pero no, says Philippines. Can I at least into mainland China? Yes, but you know into ruling me, I ruling you. I is real China, responds the PRC. Meanwhile, Taiwan tears up. The situation of Taiwan. It's a difficult one. Taiwan is an independent nation without a seat in the UN. Obviously, the main hindrance is China. People's Republic of China, or Big China, was recognized as the only China back in 1971 by the UN, and a lot of the times they aren't even being recognized as a country by most of the world because they don't want to upset China. In fact, this little island here only has 14 diplomatic partners. They also happen to be very small places like Belize, Guatemala, Paraguay, Swatini, Vatican City, and wow, it's like they're collecting all of the micronations, like a bunch of Pokemon, except this is diplomatic friendships. Obviously, they're in a very difficult situation here. It's your lucky day, amigo. Okay, more bad things happen to Americans, so I'm willing to invade you in a friendly way and finally deal with them once and for all for you. What'd you say, amigo? Meanwhile, inside of Mexico's mind, eat lead, commie. You're free now, better love it. I sure am glad I saved all these countries. Meanwhile, just fire and chaos going on in the background. No, gracias. Thank you. I think Mexico has seen just a bit too much here. They don't really trust the US anymore. So earlier last week, some Americans were taken in Mexico. So there's been a lot of memes about how the US is going to go down there and like spread freedom. But yeah, Mexico just really doesn't want this. What's crazy about all this is while it was happening, I went to Mexico myself literally 1 week later. Was it a week or was it like literally a couple days? But I had a good time. Let's see what the Amsterdam can now have to offer. Wait, what is this? He caught himself a Dutch Marlin. So not only is Amsterdam, but just the Netherlands as a whole, really known for being a bike-friendly country, it's also extremely common for many of those bikes to end up in the canals, sometimes even cars too. This place is literally known as the City of the Bike. This place is estimated to have over 800,000 bikes. I literally remember riding my own bike across this exact part of the city as well. The issue is there's an estimated 15,000 of those bikes that are recovered from the canals every year. They're either just like thrown in, or sometimes I'm sure they just kind of fall in. I mean, these canals are literally everywhere. I could see it happening if like the weather was bad enough. Man, I want to go fishing for some bikes. Ooh, look, Poland just downloaded a new app. It's Pinder, putting the app in disappointment. Ooh, first profile that's popped up, it's France. I'm actually 224, don't know how for a change. I don't understand why this happens all the time. Next profile is the USA. I'm only on here to push Monsanto.com. Again, accurate. Next up is Sweden. Boing. You are look far in strongman kingdom. Poland swiped right, and look, it's a match. 2 days later. Photograph did believe me, you does less big than this. Oh, did Sweden kind of catfish Poland a little bit? And I also don't think they were ready for all this baggage. Countryball Tinder is not something I realized I needed in my life. I see they generally got the USA's age right, but I'm confused about France, 56. Is this a reference to, I don't know, how like they collapsed in WW2? I think this is supposed to say they're actually 224 years old. Is this after the French Revolution? They probably don't want to bring that up really too much. What's interesting about this is Poland and Sweden did kind of have a relationship at some point in history. There was actually a short-lived personal union between the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth and the Kingdom of Sweden between 1592 and 1599. Obviously, that didn't work out because it was only around for a couple years, but man, that would have been crazy. This is so much territory, and then imagine if they started attacking Russia. Russia really wasn't even Russia yet. It was still Muscovy. Britain, I need to tell you something. What seems to be the matter, old chap? You know how clays you make part of land are of son or daughter? Why, of course. Why, responds the UK. You are my father! God save the me. Talk about a horrifying realization. At the end of World War II, when Germany was occupied by all the Allied nations, it was split between France, the US, Soviet Union, and Great Britain. Oh, and there was also the weird situation happening in Berlin. So when you put it like this, I don't even know if we know who Germany's real father is. It's kind of a big question mark. Maybe that makes the Soviet Union the mother, since they're the motherland. But then they've got some weird step uncles too. I don't know. I don't want to think about this. I love how perfect this map was drawn too in the comic. Germany and the UK have always had a pretty weird relationship, especially because Queen Elizabeth was partly German as well. There's a lot of weird stuff going on in this family. I have worked very hard for 5 years straight, boss. Can I enter a little vacation with wife? Go to hell, responds this South Korean boss. Oh, and here they are in Norway 2 weeks later. This is definitely my favorite town in Norway. So hell is actually a village in Norway, and it actually probably gets pretty cold there. It probably even freezes over weirdly. The best things to do in hell 2023. country with photos. That South Korean ball probably already knows what it's like to live here. Might as well give the actual village a try since, yeah, a lot of South Korea is overworked just like Japan. I'm glad his boss finally gave him a day off though. Bloody hell, there's a beast coming from the grave. Scruffle, scramble. Think a mummy, says Egypt. Oh my goodness, it's a vampire, responds Romania. Oh great heavens, it's a zombie. Oh, it's actually just Poland again. This the third time this week, says Egypt. Poland canon to undeed. I don't think there's a single country that likes to come back to life more than Poland. Their spirit animal must be a cat because they definitely have 9 lives. Although I think they're down to maybe only 4 or 5 left now. It all started with the 3 partitions of Poland, and then we all know what happened during WW2. It is believed that Poland has been invaded more than 200 times. Everyone always loves to talk about how often Poland gets oofed, but no one likes to talk about how often Poland comes back, which is arguably even more impressive. They're kind of like Wolverine, they just always regenerate from their wounds. Guten Tag, America, says Germany. Are you free today? Boy, I am free every day. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, it's probably best to just never use the word free around America at all. They might think you just need some freedom yourself, and that usually doesn't go very well. It's almost like they're drinking oil right here. Never question the US if they're free or not. Gonna have a bad time. Russia literally freezing out here while everyone else is having a good time. Meanwhile, they look back at their nuke. Hey, I have an idea. Ah, that's better. Meanwhile, Poland is crying. Is that an alien? I really hope we haven't just stumbled upon Russia's strategy in Ukraine. Was this their plan all along to finally unthaw themselves? Please, Russia, don't do that. It actually won't end up like this, I promise, even though they do have a mask right here. World War I. Tally ho, chaps. You lose. Han Han. World War II. You lose again. Meanwhile, Hungary, I am deserved this one. The Cold War. You lose and freedom wins. Electric guitar. Oh, come on. I have to be communist? Meanwhile, the present day. Get him, 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 get him. Oh, is more European war, says Hungary. Hungary is sick of losing. Maybe if I play both sides, I am win. Cut to Russia screaming lots of angry words at them. Cut to NATO screaming lots of angry words at them also. Cut to Hungary really confused about what to do in this situation. I actually haven't realized this myself. Has Hungary always been on the losing side here? They obviously lost in WW1 as Austria-Hungary. They lost in WW2 as the Axis side. And then they lost the Cold War after the USSR dissolved. I think they're just trying to get one dub here. But man, it's actually just not looking so good for them. The current leader of Hungary says they need to think hard about the future relations with Russia. But I guess playing both sides doesn't always mean you come out on top. Well, I mean, I guess unless you're Italy. I wonder what they're gonna do next. Taiwan says rock. Imperial Germany says paper. Nepal says scissors. Oh, and the US says, yeah, they say shoot. That's their favorite part about rock, paper, scissors. I guess it's fair to say that's probably why they always win. Never realized the Nepal flag is like the perfect representation for scissors. Meanwhile, Imperial Germany, who is the only country ball in the entire country ball universe that is shaped like this, there is nothing more terrifying than the rectangle. Why does Taiwan get rock though? Maybe because they're just a tiny rock island? I don't know. Okay, last time, let's wish for something simple and wish for unlimited vodka, no selling soul, no other bad things, no nuclear boom. Just in a bottle, please. This wish is grant yourself fill bottle of vodka. It's empty, says Russia. It fills by rip alcohol from holder blood to be drinked against. Am had enough. All wish from you and bad. Yeah, is main reason why I give wish. Go screw with West, not me. Am had enough of you, says Russia as they cry away. Russia sucks, guys. I have to do all the work and they do nothing. I am real rich of you guys. For real, you absolutely need to see Golden Toilet. I am so rich. And all I do is spend hard-earned taxes on all you guys. Meanwhile, NATO's just crying on the couch. I don't need allies. I am genuinely stable. I am best USA, USA. Maybe you ought to not be watching this, says the EU. You know, I recently lost a member too. Maybe not so bad if USA leave. How did something like this happen to me? Some clay dangerously invaded someone appreciates me more, but they're totally dumb and now I look incompetent. Poof! Haha! Worked so well. Is perfect what he wished for. Am not make wishes again. Into oofing NATO for me. Pretty sure I can invade some clay and he will think I'm cool. Your wish was grant. So this bird thing is actually a province in Russia, or I guess it's actually known as an oblast here. This has always been represented in the country ball universe as this like weird, evil, creepy thing. And this this was only a couple years ago when Donald Trump was talking about how useless NATO actually is. And this was when NATO was like laying around doing nothing on a couch. The EU tries to console NATO since they're like roommates, basically very similar. They also both have their headquarters in Brussels, Belgium, apparently. I think NATO here wished to be relevant again, and that was definitely the case. So Russia was happy it seemed like NATO was useless. They went and invaded another country, and then NATO became extremely useful again. At least that's how I interpreted. The wish was granted. Literally another wish to just completely backfire on Russia's face. I think it's definitely best to just never make a wish with this thing in the first place. And big thanks to my patrons. Drew, I forgot to kidnap you. Next date is March 19th, 2023 at 6:30
Boy, do I
PM.
love Arby's.
Drew's Eritrean grandma.
Portugal is not
Drew's
Balkans.
Argentinian
$20
grandpa.
is a lot, Drew.
aPhatNarwhal.
Bryton is the
Caleb,
best. The
H.
Mexican
Good old
760.
Jack Traven's annoying
John
friend.
Denver
Plugs
is
and
Pork
Doesn't
Girl.
5, 6,
Fresh
Robert
animations.
Animations.
Rye
The
the Pie.
Weekend.
The
The
Great
Great
Commonwealth.
Twickenhamster.
Carmel S.
and ZaneyBoi.